So the topic which we're going to talk about is about personality disorders. This is in continuation to the previous video on cluster A personality disorders. So I've already mentioned that personality disorders are very different and unique from other mental disorders like anxiety and depression. Because here the people who are suffering from personality disorders, they don't have much insight, and this can cause significant distress to themselves as well as to people around them. But they may not be able to acknowledge that most of the time. So usually family members only bring them for those who are suffering from personality disorders. So we already saw some 3 types of cluster A personality disorders in the previous video. If you have missed that, I have given that particular link in the description. Do watch it. So today we are going to discuss about the cluster B personality disorder, where we have again 4 types there. First type is about antisocial personality disorder. Next is a borderline personality disorder, and histrionic personality disorder, and narcissistic. So since we have 4 types of personality disorders, this video is basically an awareness video to figure out if you have such personality disorder, or if you could find such personality disorders in your family as well as in an occupational situations. So in this video, I'm only going to discuss little in detail about the first 2 types of disorders, that is antisocial as well as borderline. So I hope some of you might have heard about this term, but again to reiterate, what is a commonality among these personality disorders? This particular disorder will be there right from your early adolescence, that is 16 years of onset or early adulthood onset. So it should have started by then. If you could see these symptoms only off late in your 20s or 30s, it may not be personality disorder. And one more thing, it is very pervasive. That is, you can see these symptoms not only in family settings, but also in social as well as in occupational settings. You could see them display these kind of symptoms everywhere. So it's pervasive. As well as one more important thing is, it should cause distress or cause a lot of interference in their social, occupational and personal functioning. Only then we could term this as a personality disorder. So with this in mind, you can listen to this video. So the first disorder which I'm going to talk about here is antisocial personality disorder. Again, to remind you, all these cluster B disorders are having some commonalities like emotional. They're highly emotional, impulsive, unpredictable, erratic, and we can even call the term like flamboyant. Okay, so this is the commonality among all 4 disorders which belongs to this cluster B. So in this video, first thing I'm going to talk about is antisocial and borderline only. In the subsequent video, I'll be discussing about histrionic as well as narcissistic PDs. So here, when you talk about antisocial personality disorder, the major thing is they lack remorse. That means they don't have any kind of guilt feelings about the kind of hurt or harm they cause for other people. So they usually lie, they cheat, they steal. Okay, they are like more of like people who can deceive other people. They are very good manipulators. So about all this feeling, they don't have a small regret also. Completely lack empathy. And this kind of characteristics you can even find out in children also. Maybe they might have contact disorder as a childhood disorder. So if your child has a contact disorder with this kind of similar characteristics, later they might develop an antisocial personality disorder. And mostly they will come in terms with law. So you could see a lot of people who come in terms with like violation of rights of others. Generally they'll be caught by police. Okay, so but then they'll later, whoever you can say in the prison and all that, most of them are diagnosed with this disorder, which is antisocial person. Even people who commit homicide as well as rob banks, so-called smart hackers, all these people might belong to this category of antisocial personality disorder. Even though they have this problem, they still have to undergo all these legal actions as well. Because right from childhood, slowly they will enact all these qualities. Completely by 16 or 15, it will become a full-blown antisocial personality disorder. If you could find anyone with these characteristics, they are like charmers. They very well manipulate also. So they might be having this particular disorder. So now we'll go to the next disorder, which is borderline personality disorder. And one more, I would say, a little unfortunate part is it's very difficult to treat. This particular cluster B disorder itself is very difficult to treat, but the good news is they say that a lot of researchers have proven that they show some improvement with age. When you look into their personality characteristics, they are very clingy and needy, and they have this stormy interpersonal relationships. And we look into their relationship history, it will be mostly very stormy and intense relationship. And mostly who is having this particular borderline personality disorder as their spouse or a boyfriend or a girlfriend would experience being drained with their emotions, because they have to continuously reassure these people that they are good, and they have to give lot of validation to people who are suffering from BPD. And they are not doing it intentionally, because they have this severe empty feeling and fear of abandonment and all these vulnerabilities and insecurities they do have. That is a hallmark symptom of this BPD, due to which they tend to become very clingy and needy in relationship, and they are very impulsive. And one more thing is, they also tend to self-harm themselves. And one classical thing is, you could find them having lot of cut marks in their wrist or any parts of the arms or legs. So that is the only one important thing which you could say, that they are into self-harm. It's one of the major symptoms of BPD, and they are also at risk for suicide. And usually the friends and family of BPD are tend to suffer a lot, because these people turn out to be like manipulating them or controlling them or being lied to. So they have very tough time. It's like walking on eggshells when they are with BPD. But one more note of caution here is, the person who are suffering from BPD are not doing intentionally. So here their intentions are not bad. Because of the fear and vulnerability they are having within themselves, they tend to behave this way. They may at times be more manipulative also, and they may resort to things like maladaptive coping strategies like drinking, smoking, drugs, and illicit sex. All these things they may be more drawn to also. And more empty feelings they will have, and they are more prone to depression and also bouts of anxiety. As I already told, all this personality disorder, we don't have any medications actually prescribed for personality disorders. But these personality disorders do have symptoms like anxiety and depression and other paranoia issues also, for which some medications like antipsychotic, anti-anxiety and antidepressants are prescribed, not especially to treat the personality disorder, but to treat the associated symptoms related to this personality disorder. One more important thing is, talk therapy can help. So talk therapy like dialectical behavior therapy and CBT, which is a very popular therapy, that is cognitive behavior therapy, can help them. And if you could wonder about what could have caused these kind of personality disorder, like especially cluster B, as usual, it's a combination of genetics as well as childhood experiences. Usually they say that very abusive childhood and childhood trauma or any sexual abuse, these kind of things in interaction with their genetic vulnerability can bring in this kind of disorder. And the most difficult part, as I told earlier, is they don't have much insight into their problem. So they think that other people are causing so much of harm and hurt to them. So usually when I look into my clinical experience, I've seen lot of spouse come alone and discuss about their spouse showing this kind of symptoms of BPD. And usually in lot of divorce cases and marital conflicts, I'm seeing people with BPD which is not actually diagnosed properly. They believe that okay, she is selfish and she's behaving intentionally, or he or she, whatever it may be, and they don't understand the clinical the history of the person. So only once they come out to us, then we explain them this is why maybe he or she is behaving that way. Then we could diagnose a new disorder, and when we could proceed with that direction, probably their marital relationship also could improve, and the spouse could have a clear insight about why their husband or wife behave the way they behave. So especially when compared to antisocial personality disorder, which is quite different from BPD, people with BPD have a lot of problems with their interpersonal relationships. So they tend to take everything very offensive. So if you could see this kind of symptoms in your spouse or in your children, you need to really give them a benefit of doubt and take them to a psychologist or a trained psychiatrist to diagnose this disorder, so that it could save a lot of relationship issues and can give you the peace of mind and harmony, which is our ultimate goal of life, isn't it? So in this video, I've only discussed about two types of cluster B disorders. That is, the first one is antisocial, the next one is borderline. So in the next video, I'll be discussing about histrionic and narcissistic personality. So stay tuned. So if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe and please do share this video to spread awareness about mental health. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye.